instead of developing the actual cures to some of these diseases that he was studying, he actually just went out and published the fact that he had the cure all along. In fact, he convinced so many different people that he had the cure to things like malaria and pneumonia and tuberculosis and a lot of different other common diseases in that day, that he created this conference filled with doctors and chemists. In fact, one of the notable members of this medical conference was Albert Einstein himself. So this young man was known all over the world. In fact, Pope Benedict, during that era, sent word to this young man to say, hey, I have pneumonia. Would you please send me the cure? Of course, he didn't send him the cure because he was not a doctor. He was not a chemist. He was not a hero as he was being touted as a hero. He was someone who claimed something that he was not. That is Herod. Herod claimed to be the king of the Jews. He was not given that title. He took that title himself. It was a title that did not belong to him. He was a governor of a region. He was given that leadership by his father, who had done something kind to some of the people in higher ranks in Rome. But he was just there leading that region, mainly for taxation purposes. But Herod was not a hero. In fact, his name means hero. But he was not a hero at all. In fact, he was a tyrant. He was someone who wanted his way, and when he didn't get it, he would hurt people. And so here you see in verse number 1, you see that Herod, in the days of Herod, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem, he was born in obscurity. He was born in a manger, most likely in a cave. He was born really not in the public eye. But in those days, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, we have a king. And that king was someone who wanted to be larger, wanted to be more significant than he actually was. But you see, these wise men came from Persia, Arabia. The word wise men means magi or magos. It's talking about someone who is very intelligent, very discerning, but it's specifically the word or the phrase used for someone who is an advisor to a king. Now, these men were of great wealth. These men would travel with a large entourage, almost an army. There were not 3, there were probably many dozen of these wise men. They were astrologers, they were incredible people, they were world-renowned. And when they showed up, everyone took notice. And so the king was a little bit insecure. The king was a little bit thrown off by their presence. And yet they came to worship another king. They did not come to worship the self-proclaimed King Herod. They came to worship King Jesus. Now, the title of our series this Christmas is Jesus, the King of Christmas.